My college professor has a 6-7 addiction, and it's making me question what adulting even is anymore. Didn't you all remember how as kids we all used to believe that we'd just kind of grow up one day and it would all make sense? Well, I'm 21 years old, almost 22. I'm a senior in college, and at this point I don't really know what to believe anymore. So basically at my college, one of the courses I have to take for my engineering degree is my senior design project, which basically is just designing and modeling a drone that can be used on a space station, which in theory is supposed to be able to look at and find potentially broken parts on one of NASA's moon satellites named Gateway that they're putting together in 2028 with a couple other companies. And in fact, my professor for this class was literally a former flight instructor at NASA. And I'm not gonna lie, he's a great teacher, but he can be a hard ass at times, and sometimes we end up with tasks like writing papers as long as 80 pages with detailed diagrams and analytical models for our designs. But he's overall just a generally good teacher who's always talking with students and putting in the time to teach well reasonably. But I just want to say, just because people are intellectual and smart, it does not mean you get the privilege to escape the brain rot. One of my earliest lectures for this class, not only does he take the time to make a 6-7 joke, but even goes ahead and makes a dedicated slide for it, which, yeah, props for trying to connect with the class, but even got a couple laughs, mostly sighs of disappointment, definitely from me, but he didn't really quit it there either. Every other lecture, somebody would ask a question like, how long do we need to answer questions after our presentation? He'd say 6 or 7 minutes while grinning ear to ear. Or even on the day of our final presentation, me and my group had been scripting for weeks. We were dressed head to toe, suit and tie, and this man sitting alone in the dark to watch us by himself in a 100-person lecture room at 8 a.m. in the morning. My eyes are crusty. It's like -3 degrees outside with heavy snow, while this lad reminds us we need to begin the presentation in about 6 or 7 minutes, waving his hands up and down in the dark like a lunatic. In a lot of ways, this has made me question where we are in society. For a 50-some-year-old former NASA director to be making his own personal contribution to the self-consuming brain rot culture. And as far as I'm concerned, us adults are really just slightly bigger children than average and know how to put keys into a car and turn it on. But who knows, maybe one day one of my classmates will end up being one of the first person on Mars to say 6-7 before he's stranded on a planet like Matt Damon in The Martian. Also, I created a battle skyship and named it Shalabi. Hope you like it.